Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with your other host.
Hi, I like music. My name is Satish Ram. Sworn to the Sword had really likes music, and that made me really happy. And I really can't wait to talk about it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was so thrown off because, I was just like, wait, you mean just generally like music?
No,
that's good.
I think over the course of time, like since that episode has come out, I think I've played the two songs from that more than almost any other song in the entire series. Jam Buddies is really quick and like super cute, and like it gets in my head.
Okay, I get you there. It's just that there's so much other. I mean, we have Stronger Than You, and we also have Let Me Drive My Van Into Your Heart. So there's no way I can sit there and just be like, yeah, these two songs, most definitely. But I can understand how something small and quick can get into your head. So I'll give you that. Because, I love this episode a lot, and it's really hard because, so for everyone, so today we're doing episodes 9 and 10. And as we've mentioned before, for us, we're going by the way the episodes aired, not how they might be listed on some sites like Wikipedia and other databases where they go by when they were produced. While we, are sorry for that for anyone who may have seen them in a different order, this is how we saw them, right? So that's why we're coming out with the way they aired because, when we're on time, right, when we're actually on time with these, they're recaps of what just happened, So it's going to be, it would be awkward if we just changed the production date out of nowhere and then changed back. And, so we're sticking to what aired when we saw it. So, we're on Steven Universe Season 2, Episodes 9 and 10, which are Sworn to the Sword and Rising Tides / Crashing Skies.
I think that's the name of Ronaldo's mockumentary.
I'm laughing because I have Crashing Tides. I have Tides twice. I'm thinking, no, that's not right. Anyway, so, I want to say Sworn to the Sword might be my favorite. But, my God, Rising Tides was amazing. Like, I loved it a lot. From a comedic perspective, I really, really freaking loved it.
It was really funny.
But anyway, we go to Sworn to the Sword, and it really was an amazing episode because I just, even putting the music aside, which is something I don't want to do because this show, I think, its music has grown on me because the way it works for me is anyway, I feel like they threw the music in out of nowhere. Yes, they had music ever since the beginning, but they've had it more as, Greg's an artist, right? So, of course, you're going to hear his music. But I think, in my opinion anyway, it really snuck up on you when, in my opinion, it felt like it was out of nowhere when you had, you had Pearl and Steven singing against each other, where Steven was trying to get everyone to work out, right?
Yeah, that was a really good song, actually.
It was, but it crept up, and I think,
that was,
at least for me.
That was one of my favorites in the beginning. I think the short ones are really, they have a warmth for me. Like the little Lapis song.
Yes.
With Greg and Steven. That was really, really fun.
But you know what I mean, though, right? Like how it just felt like it came out of nowhere. But now I think that we're used to stuff like this, we can really appreciate it more, right? Where it's just, so I really, really enjoy, the song with Connie and with Pearl a lot because of how they work off each other and
that
really how it shows.
Interesting.
Yes, how it shows the relationship where, Pearl sees herself in Connie and sees, of course, obviously sees Rose in Steven. So it's a very, interesting concept, especially with the idea that, while I'm sure Pearl understands this biologically, it just doesn't, come up to her, I guess, in her head. The idea of, you have to be willing to die for Steven. Well, you can say that, Pearl, but you can come back to life. Right? Like, unless your gem is destroyed, you're going to poof back.
Right, and I think it's funny that they showed the little animation. Like, it's like, Pearl gave, she loves sacrificing herself. And it's like, I would love spending all my money if it regenerated itself, like every 2 seconds.
Exactly.
It's like
See?
it would
Yeah.
be good. Yeah, sacrifice. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, but it's just so funny about how accurate it is. It's just, oh yeah, everyone would love to, would be able to love to sacrifice themselves. They could just be like, oh, and I'm fine though, we're good. But that's not what life is about. So, but yeah, also
sure?
it really shows.
Are you sure? Sacrifice is a big part of life, in my opinion.
Yes, but you can't sacrifice everything.
And then just think, if you want to be a knight,
you can't sacrifice everything and then think, oh yeah, I'll be just fine. I'll be able to sacrifice everything again and again and again.
Hey, every now and then, it's okay. It makes sense. Just not with your life.
Well, that's what I was referring to. That's
yeah,
kind
I
of what I was
know,
referring to. Everything.
I know. Obviously.
Okay, we're good.
I'm just being an ass.
Okay. Oh, I should have noticed. It's kind of
it's
default
okay.
at this point.
Yeah.
But
it's
yes,
okay.
so
You'll learn.
I've known you for 3 years now.
You'll learn.
You keep talking.
I like that. Yeah, sure. I like that we've been doing over 200 shows, actually. Mind you, I just got hit in the head with a Christmas ornament, and I don't know if anyone heard it, but a Christmas ornament just fell off my ceiling and hit me in the head.
I think
now
that is
some kind of.
That's some kind of just fate or something or other. Just hey, don't be an ass to Matt. And it was thank you. Hey, but don't think you can be an ass to him either. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me, tree. I'm right near the tree. I
took it as stop podcasting, Satish. 200 is enough. You've done enough. Stop.
No. No, I only laughed, I think, because I loved how it's just I'm you're an ass, and then you take my position somehow, or you're just but honestly, it's been great that we've done 200 plus shows. And I'm wow, why are you?
Well, I like doing that because the Wright brothers supposedly used to switch argument sides in the middle of an argument in order to expand their mind, and I thought that's
Which is really fun.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay. I disagree. But thankfully, I also agree. How do you feel?
I agree, but I also disagree.
We seem to be at an impasse until we're not, but then we are again.
No, we're not at an impasse, actually. You're wrong.
I agree. How do you feel?
I disagree. Not okay.
Good music. No, because I'm looking through my notes and I'm thinking, what did I not say yet to interject? And then there was just silence. And I thought, that's funny, too.
Both songs were great. I like that Connie gets this actual development as a dangerous character in the sense of, she's not just the human companion that will sit there and watch the fight, and she doesn't want to be that person. And that's really cool, I think, because that makes perfect sense. Steven's her only and best friend. So it makes perfect sense that she wants to somehow help in any way that she can. And so when offered this opportunity to be a knight, she jumps on it without thinking, hey.
Yeah. Also because of the books that she likes, too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I love just right at the beginning, right? When she's fighting off, excuse me, the seagulls. She screams go back to your masters. Tell them we're not afraid of your kind.
Oh, my God. Because, again, the books that she reads. I think that it makes sense, too, which is nice. We're yes, you and I, right, if asked, oh, you want to become knights or ninjas or samurai or something, well, those are certain occupations that I think a lot of people, at least for the sheer training of it, would go oh, wow, it's really cool. Yeah, I'd love to be able to wield a sword or, wield a different kind of sword, right, samurai versus knights. Or wield, but here's the thing, though, while that's awesome, right, at the same time, if it would be better if you knew kind of backstory on us, oh, no, Matt loved Samurai Jack when he was younger. Matt, loved a lot of those old, Kurosawa movies, right? And then you, it's just oh, why does Satish want to be a ninja? Well, Satish loves, let's say Naruto, which I know you're a big fan of the video game series, which is funny. I know it's based off of, but I know you didn't get to see a lot of the
I know it's
anime
based off the
manga.
anime, which is based off the manga. But
right. But yeah, right. But I know that you haven't been able to watch much of those. So for you, you play the video games, and that's how you enjoy it. Funny enough. But the point is that to you, you'd be like, yeah, being a ninja, cool. Can't do most of the jutsu and shit because that's magic. But
it's
being
a chance
cool.
for her to live out some of her dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also be strong at the same time. And even though it was a little bit worrisome that they were going to take away her autonomy, right, by just her going, I am worthless, Steven is everything. Even in that, though, that is still, she still has a power that I think certain female characters don't get, ever sometimes. Like they even, they're just kind of left to be the damsel in distress. Even if, they're not, I'm not, if they don't believe themselves to be powerless completely, right? Still, like they don't say like, oh no, I'm powerless, they don't say that out loud, but the idea is that they're still damsels in distress in ways that the knight, quote unquote, needs to come in and save them every single time. So even in that bad scenario, she still had the power of wielding a sword, which is very interesting. But it shows you she needs both, right? She needs the idea of she's powerful, she can wield the sword, but that's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not just as a character in this universe, but also as a general, as a writing tool. Because think about it. If she was, super duper powerful, I mean, let's jump into, Dragon Ball Z stuff, and I'll mention why I'm doing that in a second. And it's like, oh no, she's like Super Saiyan 3 level, the strongest fighter in the galaxy, but she's only doing it to serve someone else. It would take a little bit away. Not that there's anything wrong with, being there for your liege or whatever, but still it kind of takes it a little bit away from her character, trying to be the strong female character, and then just, oh no, but I'm only doing it for this man. Never for anyone else. He controls me. He tells me what I do. Just like, ooh, like it hits you when you hear it that way. But anyway, what are your thoughts on, the whole Connie realizing she needs to be, doing this for herself, like with Steven? How do you feel about that?
I really enjoyed the transition in character because, of course, in her head, she's young, she's impressionable. So the idea of Pearl, who is a master swordsman, basically saying, like, you do it like this by being self-sacrificial, she completely, she listens to it. But it's so scary at the same time. Like, wow, she was completely willing to sacrifice herself for Steven.
Yeah.
And it's part of it is because that's what she was told she had to do, but wow, man.
No, I understand it. It's just, it, also, what I like is that she did pick up apparently pick up the swords, the sword fighting. That's the word I was looking for. The sword fighting relatively quickly. And also, they gave her Gohan's outfit from Dragon Ball Z, which was very interesting. If anyone's thinking,
one of my favorite things.
Yeah, Teen Gohan, quote-unquote Teen Gohan, when he fought Cell, she had that outfit, which in turn is technically Piccolo's outfit, but, and she also had the gauze, which was really cool, I think, because it really added this power to her aesthetically. Right? Because, it was something that I think looked different and something we don't really see nowadays, like in a fighting show.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just think it was really, really cool to see. It reminded me of, actually Bleach, back with like Ichigo and stuff. And also, of course, Dragon Ball Z. Lots of Dragon Ball Z. But anyway, which we know that the creators of the show, are fans of anime. So that's little nods here and there that are really interesting. But yeah, I remember you said when you first saw it, you loved the Gohan outfit and you loved the gauze a lot.
Yeah, it was just it was tough, and I fell for it because I was a huge fan of, like, Gohan in Dragon Ball Z. So being able to sit there and identify that outfit, like, dude, did you notice? And we talked and we freaked out about it, and it was nice.
Yeah.
And the eventual fight scene I loved, too, at the end because of the idea of, like, Pearl being very confused at their vernacular. Like, what the fuck is a jam party? But
what?
I love
it
understand
yeah.
They understand where they are at in the sense of they will protect each other. And that's, I like that.
I loved it a lot. I laughed at it a lot. I did love it, but I laughed at it more because of the idea that, people just have jokes that, like just jokes between, two people, and maybe maybe a few more, right? And it'll just be said in a certain way, and people will go, wait, what? Right? And you either explain it to them, or you just laugh and don't ever explain it, and they'll go, oh, it's an inside joke. Oh, okay. But still, it's just really, really funny, I think, seeing both of them do that, and then having Pearl just go, okay. Which, if you didn't see that first, 2 minutes of the episode, you'd be thrown off, too, just completely.
Because in general, it's like, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah. But yeah, this episode, I would say, is better. Like, and I say, again, not better as in, oh, no, there's no other option. No, just I liked it better than Rising Tides, Crashing Skies. But it's really, really hard for me to say that, right? Like, I think because it's a story episode, it's like story as in main story. It's the only reason why I have to say it. But my God, is it hard. Like, it's very, very hard for me to say that. But I must. How do you feel?
I really, really loved the first episode. And so it kind of held a special emotional place for me. Right. But Ronaldo's really funny.
I love Ronaldo. He's amazing. This is a character that they could literally, as long as the show doesn't end in death and destruction, just keep Ronaldo in a spin-off of some kind. Now, I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying that they have that ability to because of the entertainment value of Ronaldo. And of all the places where Ronaldo can go, not physically, just, I'm trying to get the word, references-wise, right? Where, they can make references, he can make references to a lot of stuff that we've known, but also at the same time be somewhat current. And because he does use Tumblr. So it's very interesting, as a character. And I'm really, like, sometimes he's a jerk, but in this episode, I really enjoyed, yes, he was technically a jerk in this episode, but I don't know, I just enjoyed the format of the episode a lot. Now we're on episode 10. I really enjoyed the format because if you think about it, some people might say, oh, it looks like The Office. But to me, it really reminds me of the low-budget student film that the students made in the Haruhi anime. Like, there was an episode of Haruhi, if you don't know, where they had to make a student film for, like, the festival. So when they did that, they ended up having this really, really, really bad, and I've been saying really a lot, but my God, this is the point where it's not hyperbole, really bad, but in a fun way, episode of, like, the magical girl such and such, and it was just done so poorly, and it was cut so poorly and edited together really, really badly, and it was perfect. And how bad it was perfect. And then the English dub, the actors knew exactly what they were doing, so they were told to be wooden, because of course they're these characters don't know how to act when it comes to this student film. So characters before that spoke just naturally and just fine and flowed very well are just like, I am going to destroy you now. You are my enemy. Yeah! It was perfect. So that's what this reminded me of, where it felt like Ronaldo, who I'm not saying is ever suave, right? But he was just completely, he looked like a complete buffoon on camera. And it was great, especially when he edited it clearly with Windows Movie Maker. Because, my God, I remember Windows Movie Maker back, 10 years ago when I was making AMVs. He used Windows Movie Maker. He didn't use Adobe Premiere Pro. He didn't use Sony Vegas. He used Movie Maker.
Yeah, and I laughed so hard because of the title screens, like the cards, because that was so Windows Movie Maker.
Yes. Everything about it was just wow. And I only say this because, well, I'm sure it stinks because, him being a tech-savvy person, he should be able to use better equipment. But at the same time, he's also, they're trying to go for that feel of just, he's made this, he's very like low budget, shoddy editing, but which is funny to me. It's funnier to go for shoddy editing, but it's interesting because I hate to be like, well, if we're gonna be realistic, because I hate to do that because it's like this fucking talking, walking gems, but I feel like he would have somewhat of a mastery of, because it's so easy to use fucking Premiere Pro and make something beautiful nowadays. But either way, it was a lot funnier to go for the Windows Movie Maker setting. Because the idea that, Windows Movie Maker, at least back in the day, again, 10 years ago, was not as precise as we wanted it to be. Back
was
then,
a problem.
now, again, I've made some, in my opinion, great AMVs, all right? Okay, they were good. All right, they were adequate. I liked a lot of them, and I still do. I went back, all right, I did it, and I liked them. But knowing what you can do now with Premiere Pro, and I'm assuming a lot of other, editing software that I don't know about, it is so crazy, some of the stuff that you and I have seen done. The idea of, the term of what is it, like a YouTube poop, right, which back in our day was just really annoying, in my opinion, and I never really enjoyed them at all. They somehow found a way to make them enjoyable with how much editing goes into the video, sometimes looking like they made a completely new product out of what was originally just, an anime episode or maybe an episode of Gravity Falls or something. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this episode. How do you feel about, the whole, like, office style?
It was fun, man, because you knew we were the demographic that they were looking for.
Yes. Clearly. Also, I enjoyed that it was him reflecting on what happened during the finale. And while at first I thought, they should have made this sooner, the reason why there was a break is because he was actually filming all of this and putting it together. So we see it now the way that the Crystal Gems see it, on the internet.
Yeah, and I laughed because they were watching it and they were just like, what? But I think it's funnier to them because they're not aware of the culture of, like, let's say YouTube or, like, a student film. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I really, there's a part of me that relates to Ronaldo just based on the fact that we're sitting here podcasting. There's a part of me that understands his intentions.
Yes.
And trying to capitalize on something and having fun with it because he's passionate about it. And it just really cracks me up because at the same time it's like, wow, he's misguided.
Yes, clearly. It's because it's so interesting, I think, that he was able to, sit there and go, yes, I must, get them out of Beach City. That is my goal as an investigative reporter. But I love the concept. And I have loved in this episode a lot, but in our episode, in our podcast today, but it's true. I really do enjoy the concept of the reporter who is so good that they uncover everything and they have no things left to cover, essentially destroying their own job, right? The police officer who solves all the crime, and then there is no more crime, which means there is no need for a specific officer of the law.
Mm-hmm.
I love that concept so much because I don't remember exactly where we've seen it. We've seen it before. I don't remember exactly where. But the idea of just, I did it. I did everything that was needed to be done. You don't have a job anymore. You're unemployed. So I love it. It's like, hey, Ronaldo, if they leave, you have nothing weird to cover. Also, by the way, if you didn't notice in the beginning of the episode, the whole, is Steven pregnant? Question mark. The idea of when someone points out something that it's just like, oh, man, this is what it has to be about, not realizing the bigger story underneath, where it's like he actually has a gem on his stomach. Like, I love it so much.
Because it felt at the same time, it was so, lowbrow and...
very Esquire, very Enquirer.
That's like National Enquirer.
Mm-hmm. It was lowbrow, but at the same time, I enjoy the idea of not just it being lowbrow, but the idea that, it was just I don't want to use the phrase burying the lead because I don't think that's the right phrase, but because to Ronaldo, that was his lead. So I just love the idea of just, hey, you missed the big picture while focusing on something that really didn't exist.
It was just, I have to admit, though, I laughed so much at just his general behavior. Mm-hmm. The idea of, like, I made the crystal gems leave, and due to my amazing diligence, you know, I got them back on his knees. Please come back. Okay.
My God.
No, please don't leave.
I know. It was great. Yeah. Oh, my God. No, it's just really, really funny and terrible. But anyway, so I want to talk about Ronaldo, who can, if he tried hard enough, become the head of intergalactic relations. How do you feel about this?
Is it in his future? I laugh because, like, okay, on a more serious note, right? Don't you think that he may have a more serious role in the future somehow, at least for one episode?
Yes, most definitely. Yes. I mean, personally, and it's funny because I know you're sitting there like, well, what is he going to say? No, I'm trying to really think about it. Like, I wonder, you know, like, is he really going to, because I'm thinking about it, right? And, you know, I wonder if he actually will, as half joking, but half, you know, like, wow, we needed intergalactic relations guy. And honestly, Ronaldo was so intriguing enough that became him.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like because he has a lot of knowledge of the gems, like, because a lot of the stuff that he was trying to, like, let's say, put out there. Remember earlier in the show, his quote-unquote conspiracy theories, they made a lot of sense in the long run. So he knows a lot more than people give him credit for, and he's aware of a lot because of the fact that he's kept track of the weird occurrences in the town. So I just think it's very interesting. Like, maybe for one episode, he is going to somehow be relevant, like, in a serious way. And this sort of teases it.
It would be very interesting to see. So I would definitely enjoy it. So, God, I don't want to... we have to talk about Onion for 30 minutes. I don't want to end the episode so early. Let's talk about Onion. You can't stay silent forever.
He can't.
Logically, he can't. Statistically, he can't.
I mean, unless he's mute, which I don't know if that's confirmed or not.
I don't think it is. Still, though, I loved it, where he was just like, he's about to say something, and we're all on the edge of our seat. Is this the episode, the one that we all thought was filler, that Onion will finally speak? No! Onion runs away. But that and just, you know, I love just, so, you know, you were crying, weren't you? No, I wasn't. It's okay, brother. You can't script drama like this.
I really did enjoy that kind of stuff. And his eagerness to go even further. Just like, and then they were under attack. Yeah, I guess so. And then it reminded me of, like, Rumble in Gravity Falls, where it was like, and he killed your father? No, not really. I mean, it was actually something, and then he killed your father? Like, I laughed really hard because of the suggestiveness of it. Just the idea of, like, and then you were attacked, right? And I just laughed, like, that's not what happened at all.
Oh, my God, yeah. It's so hard, but yes, War to the Sword was better. It still hurts me to say it. Like, I
think just because, I mean, it's obviously going to come up in a very clear way in the future. Connie can wield a sword now, so that's going to matter. And more importantly, you also got this insight into Pearl in the sense of, like, wow, hey, you know, Pearl was this, you know, and, like, it implies, like, a deeper relationship between Pearl and Rose, or at least, like, a strong attachment, you know, and I get it. I do, and it's just interesting because the way they can express it compared to, like, us, You know, like, you know, we will say, and I think I've said to you, like, yeah, I can take a bullet for you. I could take a bullet for some of the people in my life. But the reason that has a lot of value to us is because, like, there's a chance that you can, you know, as they make the joke, like, yeah, I can stop a speeding bullet once. Like, you know, one bullet can essentially kill us. So it's quite a gesture to think, like, oh, someone would take a bullet for you. Compared to them, where Pearl, I think the self-sacrificing is important to her, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not the biggest thing in the world. It's equivalent to us, like, hey, I'll lend you $1 if you need it, like I made the money analogy earlier. Like, yeah, man, I would lend you $1 anytime that you needed it, you know? And because that's just minor in our world, compared to, like, them, where they regenerate, you know? Like, because her gem, obviously, no matter how many times she died, her gem is intact. So she's okay.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's a little, I mean, it's frustrating, but I'm happy that they were able to address that in the same episode. And it was really nice, and it was well done. You know, it's crazy. I think because we liked both episodes, and there weren't that many talking points. I mean, there were talking points, but I mean, again, it's not like you disagree with me, and so
no, because
it's very hard to talk about.
I think Sworn to the Sword is really, really one of those like key point episodes. Like it's really, it's really, really special.
Yeah, I only mentioned like because we're almost done, and I think we notice usually when we dislike something or there's something huge and possibly controversial, we're able to go longer with it. But that clearly wasn't the case here. I think this might be a record for us.
I think so,
but I think 31
we
minutes.
Clear about it. It was fun.
Yeah. No. I mean, you know, I really enjoyed it. So I think I'm gonna start wrapping everything up. You know, thank you all for listening in. I think I'm gonna start talking about. All right. We've been doing something a bit new recently. We've been talking about our. Instead of talking about our social media first, we actually would like to talk to you guys about some of our merchandise and our YouTube pages first, because I think that there's some of you that, you know, think it's going to be the same spiel every time and might actually tune out when it's like, no, please, we have merchandise. So, yeah, as I mentioned, please, we have merchandise. So you can actually go to many different places to get many different pieces of merchandise, different merch on each website. You can go to our Cafe Press, which is cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise. And if you go on our Cafe Press, you'll be able to find our T-shirts, even teddy bears, and a lot more. A lot of different T-shirts, a lot of different designs, really fun stuff. You can get them, again, through cafepress.com/TGOTR merchandise. We do have some other shirt designs on screens.com, SKREENED.com/TGP merchandise, or if you want to buy some high tops, some customized high tops, we also have those on our Zazzle account, which is zazzle.com/TGOTR merch. So a lot of different ways you can get stuff through us. Also, we have ourselves a YouTube channel, which is for our podcast, which is TGOTR. TGOTR, right? Or Those Guys on the Radio. So what you do is, again, you go on YouTube, you search up TGOTR, Those Guys on the Radio. You should find our logo and be able to find, you know, a lot of our podcasts. I am constantly updating. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff there. Yeah, but not our 200 shows, not just yet. But believe me, we're getting there. A lot of work uploading this stuff. But I know that, you know, a lot of people watch our stuff through YouTube, so of course they'll go up there. We also have ourselves a Let's Play page, so I know that you know, you and I, Satish, we played a lot of different things so far. Depending on when this is coming out, our season finale is coming up, or maybe it's already out. But I know that, you know, you and I and a bunch of our other podcast hosts, we've been, you know, playing a lot of different stuff. I mean, I know that, you know, a lot of our wrestling fans out there might have seen you and I play WCW Mayhem for the PlayStation 1 as our first episode, right? And, of course, I've played, you know, with one of our hosts, Tristan Walter, who we've done a lot of podcasts on about Dragon Ball Z, just a whole bunch of stuff, you know, Bleach, all this stuff. You know, he and I also, we played Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, right? We played Pet Crazy Monkeys. He and I played, for Halloween, he and I played Luigi's Mansion. And for Thanksgiving, he and I played Star Wars Battlefront. And we actually have a Star Wars Battlefront show coming up soon, where we're just going to play Star Wars Battlefront. So that's going to be fun, right? So I know that, not only do we have that, you and I have played Dreaming Mary for our Halloween special. We've also played Whispering Willows for our Black Friday special. And again, we have a season finale coming up, as well as the Christmas special coming up. So, a lot of fun stuff. But what I will say is that, by the way, confirming something on our Zazzle, it's Zazzle.com/Those Guys on the Radio. So Those Guys on the Radio is our Zazzle account, and you'll be able to find our shoes on there. But yeah, and of course we have, more coming up as the days go by. And yeah, a lot of fun stuff on our YouTubes. Also have ourselves the Bandcamp, which is tgotr.bandcamp.com for any wrestling fans. Stitch and I have done WWE SummerSlam 2005, as well as WWE Unforgiven 2005. And we've done those tape reviews, both for the exclusive podcasts. You can't get them anywhere else, both for the low price of $1 each. So you can definitely just get them through there, support us, and, have a lot of fun hearing us talk about some older WWE pay-per-views. And we'll definitely be bringing it back, so we'll have a lot more exclusive content on there from the year 2005 as we talk about, our past. Where some of us, I think, in our age range started with WWE. So, very interesting stuff. And, of course, as always, our social media, website, thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com, our Facebook /Those Guys on the Radio, our Twitter @Those Guys Radio, our Instagram /Those Guys on the Radio. We're also on iTunes, so you search up Those Guys, you should be able to find us. And, we're at the end of our show. I think it's been so long. Surprisingly, yeah. It's just funny because I always say to you, oh, everything else to say? But I really don't think there's anything else to say. It did, Sworn to the Sword did very well ratings-wise. We talked about this on another one of our shows, Sworn to the Sword coming back, it came back to a 1.95 ratings, which was really, really good. And there was just a huge break. And I think it came out around May, which for a lot of the college students who might have wanted to watch it, it actually, college is out around that time. So, actually came out in June. So, yeah, college is out. So, I assume maybe that's what lent itself to the ratings. I'm not sure. All I know is it was an amazing story episode, and I think people also noticed that as well from some of the, commercials. They thought, oh, this is plot relevant. I need to watch this the date of. And, it clearly was, and it was a great episode. Other than that, don't really know what other background I need to bring to it.
I think we're settled there.
All right. So we would like to thank you all for listening to Those Guys. So here we are. Yeah. So it's really funny. I just feel awkward because it's just like, wow, we have a lot of time on the clock. I feel really weird
about it because we usually burn at least the hour, but...
Yeah. But, hey, here we are. And so say goodnight to Tish.
Good night, Tish.